Welcome to the second episode of LASIK Marketing TV. My name is Nick Sudhouse, and in this episode, I'm going to show you how the LASIK self-test on your website may actually be killing your leads. So let me hop on the computer to show you exactly what I'm talking about here. Okay, so what I've done here is I've compiled a list of the 7 deadly LASIK self-test sins that are killing your LASIK leads. And I hope I'm not being too dramatic here, but do keep in mind that every one of these mistakes drastically reduces the number of leads you're receiving. Now, before I talk about sin number 1, let me just give you a little background on why I'm qualified and giving you advice on LASIK self-tests. And the reason is my team and I, over the last year, we've generated well over 10,000 LASIK leads for LASIK centers all across the country, from California to New York. And in generating these leads, what we do is we split test, meaning we have different variations of LASIK self-tests, and we see what works better, what works worse. And doing this, we've learned 7 things that don't work as well. So I'm not talking about these LASIK sins like I just making them up. These are actually based on real data. So let's get started with sin number 1, and that's asking for contact information up front. This here is a very popular LASIK candidacy test, and this is the first screen. It asks for first name, last name, email, phone. I'm not a robot. And it's a big problem because it scares people off. A lot of people, when they come here, they bounce, meaning they'll just click back. And the reason is because this is a very unnatural way to start an interaction. Just think about regular human interactions. It's very rare that you ask for email and phone number first. The way it goes is you ask regular questions, and then at the end of the interaction, if you want to stay in touch, that's when you ask for their email and phone. And you want to model your self-test the same way. So you first want to have regular questions, and then in the end, you want to ask, okay, where can we send the results to? So you give a reason why you want their contact information. And doing that will increase your conversion rate, and it'll do that drastically. We've done tests with this, first asking these questions first, and we found over 50% of people bouncing. So over 50% of people that come to this page, they click back. Whereas if we flip it around, have this in the end, the numbers look totally different, and we get a lot more people's information. So do not ask for contact information first thing. Sin number 2, not asking for contact information at all. This is a big problem. This is the other extreme end of the spectrum. You might be asking questions and then you just display the results. Why would you not want to do that? Well, after you show the results, the people are just going to leave, and there's no way for you to stay in touch with them. So if you're confused on why you want to stay in touch with people, go back to episode number 1. I talk about that in more depth. But for you to know, just like right now, it's just important for you to know that it is important to ask for their contact information so that you can stay in touch with them, and then ultimately get them in your office for a consultation. Sin number 3, asking everything at once. So if your LASIK self-test looks something like this, stop. You want to ask one question at a time, and it goes back to regular human interaction. It would be very strange if you met someone for the first time to ask, oh, where are you from? How old are you? Where did you go to college? What's your mother's name? Very, very strange. What you want to do is you want to ask one question at a time. So you can say, do you suffer from? Ask this, and then you have a button that says next. Now you ask for the prescription strength, then for the next. So very important, have one question at a time, and it will increase your conversion rate, because people coming here, they're overwhelmed and they will leave. Sin number 4, not optimizing for mobile. If your self-test looks something like this or is not user-friendly, it's a huge problem because mobile has actually outpaced desktop. So make sure that your self-test is not just visible, but actually optimized for mobile. Sin number 5, making phone numbers required. This is a big issue. If your phone number is required like this, you are losing out on a lot of leads because not everyone is ready to give their phone number to you just yet. And what happens when you make it required is two things. People who aren't ready to give you their phone number will either bounce, meaning they'll click away, click back, and just say like, hey, it's not worth it, or they'll put a fake number in here. Both scenarios are not good. So what you want to do instead is make this phone number optional. And that way you still get the phone numbers of people who are highly interested, but you also get the emails of people who are interested but not ready right now. Sin number 6, too many questions. If you're asking questions like, oh, how did you hear about us? Don't do it, because too many questions just confuse and, again, overwhelm the user. So keep the questions to the ones that are really important and actually make a difference in the self-test. Sin number 7 is another big one, lumping everyone into the same bucket. So when somebody completes the self-test, you don't want to treat everyone the same because everyone is at a different stage. Some people, they're ready for a consult right away. They're still thinking about it. So what you want to build into your quiz is segmentation. You want to have multiple buckets so that you can follow up with every prospect in the right way. And when I say right, the right way is different for different people. If someone's interested in LASIK within the next year, or says, oh, they're ready for LASIK right away, your follow-up should be different. Not just from the messaging, but also the medium. People who enter their phone number should be treated different from people who just have an email address. Okay, so now we've talked about the 7 sins, and what I'd like to show you is a little project that my team and I have been working on since we have all this data and tweaked our LASIK self-test. What we've come up with is what I like to call the ultimate LASIK self-test, and it takes everything we've learned combined into one self-test. So I like to show that to you. Let me just switch tabs here. So this here is a iPhone 6 Plus simulator, and this is what the LASIK self-test looks like. So it asks, how old are you? You answer that question. Do you wear, let's just say, glasses? You answer these questions. Have astigmatism. Okay, now so this is the point where we ask for their email address. Okay, let me just put in my information. Okay. Now here is where we do the segmentation. So we already captured their phone number, and now we see, would you be open for a free consultation? If we say no, if they say no, then that's it. They say yes, we know, okay, they're more qualified. So now we would ask for their phone number. Whereas if they say no, we don't ask for their phone number. So let's say yes. Okay, so now we can put in the phone number. Okay, first name, Nick, and now we show the results. And this is by far the most effective LASIK self-test that we've come up with. I believe it's the most effective one in the entire industry, and what we've decided to do is open this up to all LASIK centers. So up until now, this has been really exclusive to clients that we take on that are spending $3,000 and upwards per month with us. But now we're opening it up to everyone. So if you're interested in this, make sure to contact me. We can talk about it a little more. Okay, so I hope you learned something from this video. If you're interested in that LASIK self-test that my team and I developed, go ahead and either click the link in the description to schedule a call with me, or just shoot me an email. My email is nick@lasicengage.com. If you haven't watched the first episode of LASIK Marketing TV, go ahead, do that. In the episode, I talk about the importance of actually capturing leads and give you some ideas on how to do that. Again, hope you enjoyed this and hope to see you in the next episode of LASIK Marketing TV.